Would you like to knit your very own Aran sweater? Well, it's actually been 7 years since we started the Celtic Knits Club. And for 2026, we want to explore in depth a theme that is very close to our heart. A theme that blends creativity, tradition, and of course, cables. And that brings us to this year's theme for the Celtic Knits Club, Aran Evolution. So for us, and for me in particular as a knitwear designer, Aran knitting is a lot more than just cables and texture. The actual stitches have a story. They've got a story, connects things together, and it connects people together through the past and moving into the future. But most importantly, no tradition, when it's a living one, actually stands still. So what began, first of all, out of financial necessity, where people were knitting sweaters because their families needed the actual income from it to support them, those actual stitches through the families and through the knitters that were passing them on from one to another, they evolved, they changed, they put their own little personal touch, their individual stamp on the stitches. And in fact, a lot of knitters end up claiming individual stitch patterns as their own. All of the patterns that they're working on, they keep in their head so that as they're actually working through them, they're not working from a knitted pattern, they're taking what's in their head and they're translating it via their hands into their knitting. And because of that, it's almost like a version of an oral tradition where it keeps evolving, it keeps changing, and every person that knits through it puts their own little personal touch onto the knitting. And that actually takes us on to our theme, the fact that we're looking at Aran evolution. So we're taking the tradition and the stitches that you might know and think of as Aran stitches, and we're taking them into new places. So both me and the other designer who's working with me for this club, Eimear Earley, are going to start with traditional stitches and then take them in different directions, see what happens, whether it's modifying the stitch or whether we're changing shapes or using them unusual ways with different textures, different shapes to the finished piece. We're not sure yet where it's going to take us. So this is going to be our own little personal evolution as we work through these stitches. If you'd like to learn a little bit more as well about traditions of Aran knitting and how it got started and where it began, then I would encourage you to take a look at the replay of the YouTube live I did with Vaughan Corrigan, who is the author of Irish Aran. She is a wealth of knowledge, and it's such a pleasure to listen and chat with her through all of the information she's gathered and put together in that book. So she talks about how it started, how the traditions developed, and then we'll also just talk a little bit about where it's going and where our knitting is heading at this point. So now that we've explored our theme in depth, I want to tell you all about the nitty-gritty details of the Celtic Knits Club and how you can get your hands on it and be ready to knit your cables for next year. So it is sold now for usually until around the middle of December, but that will depend on stock. And the first pattern will come out in March. The patterns are going to be designed by me and also Eimear Earley. There's 5 patterns in total. First one's March, and then every 2 months they come out over 6 months. They range from smaller size patterns, getting a little larger, and the very last installment will have both a wrap and a garment pattern. When you pick a full club, you opt for which size you want for the garment or whether you want to wrap. And that's the main difference in the pricing of the different full club options, is which size you opt for that final installment of the club. But you will get all patterns. So as well as getting all patterns, you're also going to get video workshops, which will go step by step through each one of the projects. So even if there's new techniques to you, you'll have plenty of information to help you along the way. We'll have a Zoom launch party. So every single one of the installments that comes out will have a Zoom launch where me and Eimear will be there, and you can ask us questions about the project or anything that you might perhaps need a little bit of extra help with. And we get excited about casting on. And we also have a KnitHub private forum so that you can chat with us if you've got questions, and also with other knitters to share your progress and to see how they're getting on. So lots of support along the way. So that's the full club, and it also comes with yarn. So here are our 2 yarn options. I think I have them all here. So there's one option there's one option 1 and there's an option 2. And so when you pick, the colors in that option are the ones you're going to get for the different installments. For the digital version, you won't get the yarn, but all of the others from the pattern through the workshops and launch parties and forums, those will all be included. Now, all that is left for you to do is join the club. So the club goes on sale on November the 6th at 5 p.m. Down below in the caption, you'll find all of the details, and it'll bring you to the landing page. And on the landing page, you'll find everything you want to know about the club. And most importantly, there's a notify me button that will sign you up to the newsletter, so you'll be the first to know when it does go on sale. So there's going to be a lot of cables in our future. I am very excited to have you in the club with me for the Celtic Knits Club 2026.